Hey YouTube, Abyss full of goats here, and we're back with another Burning Abyss video. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing this deck on this channel by now, but hey, there's always new variants of this deck, I think. And today we're mixing Burning Abyss with another trap-heavy floating archetype, Eldlich. So the reason I'm trying this build is because one problem of how it be in the past is that after turn 1, you kind of have a hand just full of BAs and no way to get your traps back, which the deck really needs. So I decided to mix it with a deck with a bunch of floating traps, so you want to get an advantage. It went okay today, I went 2 and 2, but I really should have gone 3 and 1. Note yourself, people, read your cards. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Double tour guide. This is our only non-BA, non-Eldlich monster. This is obviously a good starter in the deck. It gets into Cherubini and Dante. Let's just play under Golden Lord in the field. For the BAs, 3 Graph, 3 Seer. These are the 2 best BAs, something from deck and something from graveyard. You also want to get this off of Tour Guide, and you can send this off of Cherubini to make your plays. These also will give the deck its grindiness in terms of the BAs. 3 Farfa, we're not trying to win this game fast, so having the ability to keep your opponent stunned for a turn by bashing their best monster is always great. And in a meta with powerful XCs like Baguska, this is a great way to out them because you can just banish them. They'll come back, but they'll have no material, so they'll pretty much just be easy to beat over. 3 Scam, this is what we end our turn with. It fills our hand back up, each game has a tour guide or another BA. Again, in a deck that wants to grind, having more cards in hand each turn is always great. Next we have 1 Libich and 1 Baba. Libich is the other way we get a BA out when we have the Golden Lord in the field, and Baba is how we win in time. Very simple. Double Golden Lord, you don't need to have more than 2 of these, because with 3 Scarlet Sanguine and 3 Cursed Eldland, getting this card out is not very difficult. So when I started to move my card, the way I thought how this card worked was you need to have it on the field and send a card from your hand to the grave to pop a card. No, it turns out what you need to do is send this and another trap to the grave to pop a card. So yeah, that could have won me a game 1. So for those who don't know what this card does, it's a 2500 body that you can send from your hand to the grave with the back row, destroy a monster. And while it's in the grave, you can send a back row on the field to the grave and send it back out with 3500 attack. This gives BA a way to out big monsters, which has always been a problem with the deck. It gives the deck more floating capabilities, and it's just an all-around powerful card. Moving on to the spells and traps, 3 Golden Land. Now this card is how we get Golden Lord or powerful traps to our hand. However, it's also a card you don't want to keep on the field too much. You ideally want to send a Golden Lord to the graveyard and use a pop this to get it back, because this card locks you into attacking with only zombies, and it also means you can't push on your BAs because you've got a spell and trap card on the field. Two Droplets. This is the best board breaker we run, because you can send your Eldlich traps and your BA monsters to the grave to get a bunch of floating effects, and then take out whatever board your opponent's created. I'd play 3 if I had another one. For the fire traps, Foolish and Call By, Standard. Call By just stops hand traps, it stops two elements from fusing, it's just a broken spell. And Foolish, you can send Golden Lord, you can send a BA. This card's basically an extra copy of all your best monsters. For our trap cards, we start with the Eldlich ones, 3 Scarlet Sanguine. This is our main way of getting Golden Lord of the field, and when it's in the grave, you can bash it in phase to add any of the Golden Land cards to the field. So this card gives you access to Graveyard Disruption, Monster Removal, and a Combat Trick, making it probably the most powerful trap in the deck. 2 Huquero. This is the Graveyard Disruption, and it comes out as an 1800 beta, which is not too bad. This and all other of the Eldritch spells and traps give us basically more link climbing, meaning we can easily go float through the nightmares into World Soul to win. Speaking of the Eldritch traps, 1 of the Guardian and 3 Conquistadors. Now Guardian is a big booty, but it also can let us turn any monster's attack to 0, which gets around one of BA's biggest weaknesses, beating up big cards like dinosaurs, blue eyes, Despia branded monsters. You only need 1 of this because this is definitely the weakest of the Eldland traps. And this is of course our strongest. It's a removal spell, popping any card on the field. This is the one you want to search for the most. It's what helped me the most today, and it's just, I think, the best trap in the deck in terms of the Eldlich traps. Then we have, for our other traps, 3 Lost Wind and 3 Ice Dragon Prison. So Ice Dragon Prison in this meta is incredible, because some of the decks are playing a bunch of the same type. That's almost, you're almost guaranteed to get both a non-targeting removal and 2 banishes, which is really good with a graveyard line deck like Tear Elements. And Lost Wind, I played this because not only it's disruption that you can get off of getting milled off of Dante. Because I say this, with this and the Eldland traps, Dante is so good in this deck. And that's the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck for the BAs, 1 Cherub, 2 Dante, 1 Beatrice, and 1 Purple Dante. So with this ratio, Cherub, these are fairly standard. Basically, you want a Cherubini, you send a Seer, hopefully you made this off a graph, that gives you a Cherubini and a Dante that's protected by Cherubini. Purple Dante and Beatrice are the 2 of the biggest playmakers in this deck. Because Beatrice can send any card from it to the graveyard, so not only can she send BAs to disrupt the opponent or gain an advantage, she can send an Eldlich, Golden Lord, to start our Eldlich plays next turn. And Purple Dante, I think, is actually better now than he's been in a long time. With Underworld Goddess being a very powerful card, decks have to have some form of targeting removal to get to out it, so this guy is not affected by. He's also just a big body and can cycle through our cards, that will see our Eldlich cards more. We ran 2 Dantes, but I think you could actually run 3 in this deck and get away with it. Because one thing, with all the Eldritch traps floating, one thing Dante does do is pretty much guarantee us, his mill's almost guaranteed to be good in this deck. You get either a BA that can float or a trap that can float, and you'll pretty much always get advantage from it, 9 times out of 10. Our other XCs are the Utopia package and Zeus. A negate going first, and then next turn you can climb it into a Zeus. This means you can make Zeus without burning through your Beatrice. For our links, the Nightmare package. Basically, you want to use the Golden Lord land cards to climb into these, popping a monster, popping a back row, and spinning any card before going into Boral Sword, giving you a very weak board. 1 IP, so you can play Unicorn during your opponent's turn, or Underworld Goddess. Speaking of which, 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 BLS, and 1 Boral Sword. These are just how we break boards. Boral Sword being the best, it's pretty much an OTK machine, but BLS can also attack through big monsters. And Underworld Goddess can take one monster out of the field, it dark pools the field, and in a meta for the graveyard decks, the Solemn Strike for graveyard effects comes up a lot. That's the main side. Going on to the side deck. You've seen this before. It shuts down 2 elements. It makes Sprite a lot weaker. And a lot of rogue decks like Despia have trouble answering this card. 3 Dackle and Amours to break boards. Also for going second, we have the Cyframe package. 3 draws for combo decks, and the final hand trap is 2 Lancier, because D Fisher and Macrocosmos obliterate this deck, so having a way to prevent banishing is a lot better. I think in the future I would actually cut this and run 3 Crows and a 3rd Lancier, but that's just the future. Eldlich BA is probably not the best version of Burning Abyss. You're probably better off playing a bunch of hand traps like Bestials, but there's a lot of synergy here. I really enjoy playing it, and I'll be playing it again next week. Thanks guys for watching, I'll see you in the next one.